Don't regret the dream you didn't pursue. Have the courage to start today.
Vegan diet. The Italian child was malnourished and underweight, and authorities have since removed him from his parents. Now, that seems a bit harsh, but with 5 other similar cases in Italy in the last 18 months, it begs the question, is a vegan diet healthy for your child? Children's health expert Dr. Julie Bhosale joins me now.
Good morning, Mark.
All right, get ready to enrage people around the country. Is it unhealthy for a baby?
It's not so much if it's unhealthy, it's more to take into consideration some of the potential difficulties that may arise from eliminating certain foods.
Can you get everything you need? I mean, all right, let's start this another way. Are there different requirements for a baby than there are for grown-ups like us?
Yes, well, in particular, there's the concern around iron. So breast milk actually has virtually no iron in it at all. Formula slightly more, but babies are actually born with enough iron to sustain them the first 6 months of life. After that, it's important for iron to be supplemented through the diet. So obviously your key iron sources or your most bioavailable iron sources come from animal products.
So is this ignorance? I mean, people just don't realise what their babies might need.
No, it's definitely not. And I mean, the choice to be vegetarian or vegan, it's very emotive. It's more about being aware that it's just going to be a lot more difficult.
See, it is very emotive. The Italian child had a heart condition as well, which complicates it. And when you look at it, I mean, we see, there's different cases, but there's not like an overwhelming, you would think of this as a big problem. There'd be an overwhelming number of babies and toddlers presenting with issues over their diet.
Well, I mean, that it's important to acknowledge that in that particular case, obviously the heart condition, it's very hard to make any association that it was because of a vegan diet, although it's not an isolated case. And what we've seen here in New Zealand in the last 5 years is a 30% increase in people turning to vegetarianism and veganism. And
now there is a difference, isn't there?
Yes, there is. So when you're vegetarian, you can still have some animal-based products, so often dairy or cheese, whereas obviously when you're vegan, complete elimination.
So what are the things, what is it exactly that if you're vegan you're missing out on? We talk about, B12 and iron, are these the things? I mean, where would you normally get those from?
So your other sources come from foods like your green leafy vegetables, your pulses. There is, of course, your fortified cereals as well, but that's another issue of controversy about whether babies should be having that, which I personally don't recommend either.
Why not?
Why not with the fortified iron cereals? Because babies don't actually have the enzymes to digest the grains until they're the age of 1.
See, it's a horrible thought, isn't it, for a parent to think that somehow, through the best intentions in the world, you might be harming your baby.
Well, you're not going to be harming your baby. It's just important to be aware that it's just going to take that little bit more. So when you look at, for example, the iron content in spinach, you're looking at about 3 grams per 100 in spinach, whereas food source like liver, you're looking at 15 grams per 100. Babies need about 10 grams. So you can see you're going to just have to work that little bit harder.
Meat is convenient in that sense.
In that sense, yes.
Should people have to look at, do I compromise my beliefs about, veganism or because of practicalities?
Well, I mean, it's a really good point to raise, and I would always encourage, if you don't need to, absolutely just have a whole balanced diet. But I mean, it's a very emotive issue, and it's important to take that into consideration.
You mentioned things like dairy before and milk and things like that, which is a big source of calcium.
Yes.
So if you don't get it from there, where do you get it?
Well, again, your green leafy vegetables actually have a source of calcium in them. You're just in that camp of your kids are going to be eating a lot of spinach.
So if you basically you just got to christen your kid Popeye. That's the answer, is it?
Or get very, very creative with spinach recipes.
Is there a danger that's going to start all this, that people, vegan parents are going to feel a bit under siege,
I really hope not. I really hope that this is about, bringing the issue here and, the wider concern about our food supply in general. I mean, it's hard enough for most of us just to eat well on an everyday basis, getting good whole foods, a balanced diet and anyway. So, yeah.
All right, Dr. Julie Bhosale, we appreciate you coming in this morning and especially on such a delicate topic.